I've been wanting to try this bike ever since I heard about it. It's like two bikes I enjoy, the 390 Duke and the 790 Adventure, got together and created what could be the best entry-level ADV. But is it really an adventure bike? Let's find out in this episode of Beyond the Ride with the KTM 390 Adventure. The bike is built on the same 390 platform as the Duke and the RC, using the same liquid-cooled single-cylinder 373.22cc 4-valve double overhead cam liquid-cooled engine that punches out a modest 44 horsepower at 8,800 RPM and 36.6 Nm of torque at 7,000 RPM. This single is mated to a 6-speed gearbox fitted with a slipper clutch. Just like the RC and the Duke, this is expressway legal here in the Philippines. It's got a WP front fork and WP Apex rear suspension, both of which are adjustable. I actually had KTM BGC adjust both, and that affected the seat height. I'll explain that in a bit. Stopping power is provided by Bi-Brace 4-piston radial caliper gripping a single 320mm disc up front, and a single piston floating caliper 230mm disc combo for the rear. Of course, it's got KTM's gorgeous TFT display, and you can change the riding modes. You can do all sorts of different things with this. All you gotta do is the controls is right by here on the left side. It's up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, select, start. The windscreen is actually adjustable, but you're gonna need tools to bring it up and down. It also has a 12-volt socket right below the TFT. The front tires are 100 by 90 on 19s. The rear is 130 by 80 on 17s. It's a little strange to see an adventure bike with cast wheels and not spoke. Kind of loses points with me just a little bit. It's got a wet weight of 175 kilograms, which is extremely light, especially for an adventure bike. The tank capacity is 14.5 liters, which for an ADV is tiny. But keep in mind, this is a mini-me of the 790 Adventure. My choice of bike for the zombie apocalypse, by the way. Now, the 790 had a tank down here on both sides, while this, it's all up here. The fuel consumption really varies depending on where and how you are riding. You can get close to 30 kpl if you're just cruising. But if you're stuck in traffic or maybe going a little wal-wal, expect something closer to 21 kpl. It's got LEDs in the back, LEDs in the front, and the headlight is actually quite similar to that of the 790. Now, as far as the looks, well, it's an ADV. You don't get one of these bikes because it's pretty. You get them because of its functionality. Having said that, it is actually quite good looking for an adventure bike. The standard seat height is about 855 millimeters. Now, I did ask the dealership to lower it for me as much as they could. That's why there's a little bit of space right here and about 2 clicks lower in the monoshock. I am 5'6", and I am the average height of a Filipino male. For a 390, it is quite tall. In fact, it's about the same height as the 790 Adventure. Another issue is the ground clearance. It's 200 millimeters. But because I had it lowered, it's now just 197 millimeters. That's not much, especially if you hit the trails. Riding in the city is pretty decent. It's narrow enough that you can filter safely. However, just like the RC and the Duke, the engine does get a little hot. Well, I mean, it is the same engine. The seat is pretty comfortable, and the seating position is fairly standard to other ATVs. except the foot pegs are slightly rear set, kind of similar to that of the Duke. You can take this on a light trail with confidence, even though the ground clearance isn't that high. It's almost like a bigger dirt bike with a whole lot more tech. It's also very light that you can feel like you can maneuver it fairly easily. Attacking the twisties with this ADV is pretty enjoyable. Okay, the RC and the Duke may do it better, but this is surprisingly pretty darn good. Now, because it's only a 390, it may be a little slow for some people on the expressway, but if you're more of a chill rider, it should be more than adequate. It's also fine overtaking slower vehicles, but you just may need to ring the engine a little bit. The windscreen is adjustable, but you will need tools to put it up or down. But it works very well. This is the highest setting right now, and it's more than enough. I would say the bike is pretty good for beginners. I mean, the seat height could be a problem for some people, but if you're tall enough, I would say that this should be pretty good for people who want to get into ADVs or who think that they'll be getting a bigger ADV in the future. This could be a great way to start your ADV journey. So, is it a real ADV? Well, sure. Especially because you'd probably be using it most of the time on paved roads. But if you decide to take the road less traveled and go on some light trails, it'll be able to handle it. Now, the best part about it is that you can get this Philippine-made Austrian baby beast, including all its tech and capabilities, for a price tag of 309,000 Philippine pesos. That, my friends, is a great deal and a great way to get into the world of adventure riding. For more information about this bike and other MCs out there, log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. This has been Gene Orfino for Beyond the Ride.